Hello, and welcome to Let's Talk Real Estate and Stuff, the podcast where we dive deep into the world of real estate investing and the random stuff that makes life interesting. I'm John Whitfield, joined by my co-host Carlos Zamora from Carrot CRM InvestViews and BP, the mobile home park operator. Hello, gents. How are
Can you,
we, Carlos? What?
before we do anything, I just really want to share what I have up on the screen, John, if we could please.
Okay.
I think this is
I
the
don't know what
proper
it
way
is,
to.
so I'm slightly scared. But all right, here we go.
Listen, I'm just sick and tired of everyone not living life the right way with their morning routine, and I just want everyone to know what my morning routine looks like and how it should be.
5 a.m.
Do you wake up at 5?
running.
Wow. I'm up at 3.
Right.
Yeah.
Sorry, I meant 5 a.m. is my second run. 3 a.m.
Right.
First run.
Right, there you go. First run. And then
Ice bath.
while I'm in the ice bath,
Ice bath.
just made 100K
Easy.
trading.
Done.
Then I do my reading.
Crypto.
Yes.
Right.
An hour of meditation.
Affirmations.
Affirmations.
I am rich. I am sexy. I am healthy.
5 hours.
Easy.
Then it's 10 a.m. Some people just started a day.
Right.
I just built an empire. Do you know what I mean?
I'm finished.
I'm finished.
Spent.
I've lived my life.
Take a little nap.
Yes.
Plunge pool.
Right.
Back out.
By 6 p.m., I've birthed 3 children.
By 7, I've created 4.
That's insane. But you know what, yeah? By 8 p.m., I've died. Beat that.
9 p.m. Resurrection.
Right.
Ice bath.
Right. Yeah. Reincarnation.
5 a.m.
Do you wake up at 5?
I had to
Running.
do that.
Wow.
I had to show that, dude.
You got to see the other guy. BP. Maybe you've seen him. I forget the dude's name, but he takes clips of like Ed
Yeah.
Milet, where Ed Milet's like, I split my day into 3.
yeah.
He's like, my first day is from 6 to
You gotta
12, and the
send
guy
it to me.
goes, that's it.
You got to send it to me.
I gotta find the guy, but dude, it's that same principle. But
Yeah.
he's even
Dude, I
funnier.
thought of you. I
He's
thought of you
guy.
in some of our convos, like at the end of the year, where we go through and like talk about like what's the plan for the year, and it's just like, and it's always a competition with these gurus and everybody, and it's like you got to do this. But they really got me when they're like, by 8 p.m. Yeah, died. God, beat that. It's like, God, dude, resurrected 9.
I gotta
Anyway.
find it. It's so
Yeah,
it's
send
so
it.
funny.
Send it to
This
me.
dude's-
Send it to me. I did.
So was
send-
that a real conversation they were having, but they clipped it up to make it funny, or were they being funny?
absolutely have no context for it. I was
Okay.
walking. I was on a walk yesterday doing it, and I was like, "What the?" I was dying. I was literally dying. At first, I thought they were serious, and it took me like at least 10 seconds of like the banter to be like, "Oh, okay, this is a spoof. I get you."
Morning
But it just
routines
goes to
are
show it's
wild.
like-
Yeah, I gotta send you. I gotta send you
It's
that
like there
clip.
is no right or wrong, right? Like it's like everyone's got their thing. It is impossible for many people to live to the standards of what some of these gurus say, or like what wealthy people say you're supposed to. I'm successful, you're supposed to do this. And one thing I've learned is no matter what, nothing stays the same. You will not be
Yeah.
on a routine forever. It'll last maybe 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, but eventually it will change, has to change. Life happens. There is no right or wrong. And literally, I think the only common denominator is the promise you make yourself and the discipline you keep to keep it.
Yep, totally
Unless
agree.
unless the promise is
Do what like gives you the energy, right? Like
Yeah.
I've tried morning routines, so not to that comedic extent, but definitely to an extent, and they felt overwhelming, like overburdening.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, like Alex Hormozi's just like, I get up and I go to work.
So,
Mhm.
and it's like, if you would have asked me a few months ago, I would wake up like 5 a.m. and I'd go and I'd run, I'd do my push-ups, I'd shower, go see my kid. Okay. But now I wake up, I read my Bible. And then I go see my kids. I don't even run. It's walking at my son's football now, like 3 or 4 miles, during that time of whatever it is. I take the dog through the fields. So it's like completely different now. Like,
Mhm.
wait, look at exercise in the morning versus like 7 p.m. at night, reading in the morning versus push-ups and working out. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, and if I would have been stringent, like it would have messed up the whole thing. Like if I would have been strict, instead I go with the flow. Schedules change. My son's got football. Like, what am I going to do? Like sitting there, because before I was just on my phone. I'd be, you know what I
I
mean?
take
Sitting
my
there.
laptop to my kid's soccer practice. It's a lovely time to get some work done.
Yeah.
Maybe I
What
should
time
be
of year is
walking
that?
now.
Right now?
Right now, yeah.
Yeah, well, football was during July, and it was
Hell,
like,
fucking no.
I know, dude. And some of these parents sit out there starting in July, because it goes July and August were the worst. They'll sit out there just along the field, just sweat, literally pouring sweat. I'll be up in my car in the AC with binoculars, like. But as the weather got nicer is when I changed my schedule, and I was like, okay, let me get all my stuff. You know what I mean? So anyway, like,
Mhm.
yeah, dude, you don't need to have all this.
Yeah, it's gotta serve you. It's gonna rotate depending on life going on. God bless both you guys as parents. That's a massive factor in how your life is. Even if I watch like my sister or my friend's dog overnight, like that changes the morning routine, having to go take the dog out in the morning to use the
It
bathroom.
does
So
change the routine,
it's gotta serve
but
you.
like,
The Bible is interesting.
yeah,
Trevor said that I added this week reading Proverbs in the morning, specifically in the Bible, getting back into that. So Trevor does that part of his current morning
yeah.
stack. But like what like so if you're thinking about it, and I'll ask BP because you're the one that brought it up, and John as well. But if you're thinking about like what's the point of like a morning routine, it's self-automating behavior
It's
to a
discipline.
certain extent, but then it's also priming yourself, in my opinion, for the day. Like you're getting kind of like your frequency up to a certain point, in my opinion, because the days that you read Proverbs or you read a good book on whatever subject you're interested in, you're going to feel a little different, and you're comparing that opportunity cost of time versus additional work that you could be doing, like the Alex Ramosi, like getting right into it, is what I've come to find. The other point that I'll kick it back to you guys is, for me, having a lot of different morning routines that typically adjust around like quarterly, and just seeing how effective they are and how well they serve you, is, for me, it tends like the best stuff gets done in the morning. Like whatever you prioritize in the morning, whether it's like very solid workouts or reading, meditating, deep work, whatever you kind of like put in the morning, for me, gets your best quality energy, at least for me on a standard work day. Where if I do stuff at the end of night, I'm kind of like, a little dusted from the day already. So I could do my Spanish lessons at the end of the night, but I'm going to be kind of tired. Or I could do whatever I want to do at the end of the night. But for me, it seems like you kind of have the most energy. You can put the highest quality intention and focus behind
For
it.
me, like it's the same kind of line of thinking, but the amount of worldly impacts, exponentially increase through the day. So it's like in the morning when I get up, the only person who can bother me is my developer in Armenia. And then all the Eastern Coast people start working at 9, and
It's
then
impossible.
all the West Coast people start working at 12, and then my family's in there, and I've got activities. So what I like to do is like, what is like the most important thing that I need to do in quiet focus? Like get that done in the morning, because I know the rest of the day is going to be Slack messages, people needing things, like
Time
questions,
wasters, yeah. It sucks.
customers, stuff that I can't predict. And I need to be like open for it. And so if I get in the middle of the day trying to like, all right, I need like 2 hours of focus, I know
It's
trying to do
impossible.
that in the middle of the day is going to like negatively affect other things.
Yeah, I mean, well said. Like, but I will add this though, like all of that is true for me too. But like, I don't feel bad. Like there's some mornings, right, where I can't read the book. Like I'll set that aside. Like I get up and I'm not gonna lie, like shit has happened overnight. And so for that hour and a half, because I have to go in at a certain time for my kids and get my son ready and stuff, and it's like I'll just buckle down on emails. You know what I mean? Like I'll just be like, shit, I got to solve this problem. I got to type this up, review this lease, and like I'll do what John does, like that most important focus time. 95% of the time, I get to focus on me. But there are 5%. But I don't feel bad. Like it does not throw my day off because I'm accomplished. You know what I mean? I'm not. Where I feel bad is me and you, Carlos, have talked about like the addiction to my phone, which is where that strict morning has come in. I've tried weaning, like not even, you know what I mean? Like setting this aside, I go down and I have the book in front of me and I'll sit and read it or something without even looking at my phone. That's the biggest battle for me, But I also have a second win. So although I have a strict schedule with the kids and family, there's days where my son's at his mom's and like my wife's taking care of the other kids and all that. So like Wednesdays and Fridays, a lot of time I get a second wind. Like I'll come in, I'll eat an early dinner, hang out with the kids at like 3 o'clock or something, 4, answering my phone, early dinner. They eat dinner on their own. I go back out at like 5, and for the next 3 hours, while my wife's putting the kids to bed and stuff and all that, no one's calling me at 5 o'clock, like unless there's a fire emergency, because I set a precedent where I just stopped picking up my phone a while ago. Like I just was like, picking up the phone, bro. Like unless you're like an investor or some major stuff, I'm not picking up my phone. And so now I have like an extra 3 hours on the days I don't do football or karate or something. Like, so Wednesdays and Fridays, I get this second wind of pure focus. I eat, maybe I'll have a little coffee or something. I'll go sit down, boom. And so I get that. And that's nice for me because I feel like I can accomplish a lot of what John said, pure focus, like just the most important focused oriented task. I can't write an article at 11 a.m. in the morning because there's no way to focus like a writer when you got tenants texting, calls coming in, you know what I mean? Like Slack messages. John, when you said that, I was like,
oh my God, the Slack messages.
but I also want to bring it circle back, just like the morning routine. I also call bullshit on the majority, not all, the majority of people saying I just have everyone doing everything for me and I don't have to talk to anybody. It's like maybe at the highest level echelon of things like Elon Musk, Richard Branson, all these guys, Alex Hormozy, did they?
Yeah,
get
you've
that
got the
money?
capital and the to like make that happen. The average
The
person,
layers
no.
and yes, the average business owners, sub 100 million, you know, the peons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do think like there's an argument to be made in this day and age where everything feels urgent and maybe it shouldn't. And maybe it could wait till like a scheduled meeting time. And maybe that's the type of discipline that some of these kind of biggest business owners have put up. Like they have the people there to like hold stuff. And it's like, all right, you got me for 30 minutes. You bring everything to me right now and we'll solve it.
But you have to set that tone, John.
You do have to set that tone. 100%.
As the leader, like I have a vendor I'm thinking of that everything is a fire and is important. I need paid, I need this, and so like I delayed his payment the one time. Like he issued it on like one night, and the next morning it was like Sunday at mid 1 a.m. and he's calling me all Monday like I need paid. I just ignored him. Just I'm not paying in 12 hours. Okay, dude. Like typically I pay we do payments Tuesdays and Thursdays, so within like 3 days you're getting paid. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I picked up the phone finally the next day. I called him and said, hey, dude, listen. I was like, when have you never been paid? He's like, well, never. I said, when do you not paid within like 24 to 48 hours? You know what I mean? Like typically. And if there's something, I was like, when you issue your invoice, like we do billing on, you know, and I had that combo. I'm not going to rehash it, but we had that combo. And I was like, you don't need to keep emailing the girls in the office. Like they know, and they're going to work through. And I said, I can't move you ahead of everybody else every time. I was like, you could have submitted that invoice on like whatever, Wednesday or Thursday, but you waited Sunday in the middle of the night. You know what I mean? So we had that convo, and I've had that with a few people, like with my managers, and they're blowing me up. I'm like, did you put a work order in? Calling me is not going to change that the work order has to go in to get to a vendor. So you have to have those combos is all I'm saying. Otherwise they will continue to abuse your time, but I'm still there to handle those things.
And it's like reliance on the leader, right? Like I think Dan Martell talks about this a lot and has done this with his teams. Like I hired you for a reason. And that reason is to solve problems for me.
Gotta have those right people, though. Gotta have the right.
You gotta have the right people. But he instills. I mean, and he has the capital to hire the right people. But like he instills us in them, like how to make decisions, when to bring something to him, like you know. And at that point, they know he's going to judge what they're bringing pretty harshly, and you know, make sure. And I think he has it like written down in his SOPs.
True meritocracy, yeah.
Yeah, like these are the things I expect you to have done before you're bringing this to me to kind of get my input on. But
I agree with all that. Key factor here is the money for the right people to hire them, and a lot of times you can't. I mean, if you're making only $1 million or $2 million gross, what you're netting, I mean, you're not pulling in a $200,000 executive that is solved. I mean, you'd be walking. You as the owner would have no money. Might as well not even run the business. Like your net profit, I mean, is not enough to warrant paying somebody 50% of your net profit when you're only making $1 or $2 million to do all like you probably don't even have enough work for somebody like that at that point. You know what I mean? You need to be 10 million, 20 million and up to be able to hire those people. Otherwise, it's up to you to set those tones, which will only help you down the road when you're hiring people, because then you know what it is. So anyway, but yeah, I've set the tone with a few people, and it's like you have to.
You got to, or you're adjusting to theirs.
Yeah, and that bothers me because you try to be nice. And you want to be, but like, come on, who works like you? You work for me, bro. Like,
That's right. That's the way it works.
but anyway,
You're darn right about that, BP.
anyway, the trees are continuing coming down.
Oh,
Getting
nice.
there.
Still going? They've
Still
been in
going.
town for a week now.
Yeah, I mean they're almost done. I think they're at like 80% way there. They were at 20 some trees. I think they're at 40. I got to check my messages. I think they were at 20 some on Monday, so they're probably closer to like 40 some. But now they're getting into the difficult ones. Like I was watching them fell trees between homes in these videos, and I was like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, and it fell right where they wanted it. It was like watching TikTok videos.
So are they like craning it, like holding it up top of the crane? Or they are
It's a-
literally felling it to the ground?
Pulley system, so they'll
Okay.
go up and lop the top off, and they have something, and then it's like the one rope I guess is on a pulley, and it lowers the thing. It's quite amazing. And then the stump, they have something else pulling it in the way they cut it. I don't know, John. There's no cranes. There's lifts and people
Mhm.
climbing trees like monkeys, like literally with like a rope just like running up, because they're pine trees, so they're straight. You know,
Yeah.
they lop them, and it's just like a timber. But it's one of the most amazing things I've seen, and it's awesome. But I still have people. Everyone's still complaining.
That the trees are being cut down.
It's too bare now. I liked it when there were trees. Guy sends me a picture of his supercharger, like a supercharger for an engine, laying on the ground with like debris all around it, right? And this guy, we've been nice, and we just kind of let him, he's, you know, and we've just let him have his stuff there, and we've warned everybody, like, move all your stuff. He's like, somebody's got to pay for this. I can't get to work. This was my only vehicle. And I'm thinking, like, bro, like, I don't know how you've been getting to work to begin with. That car's been taken apart for like the last 6 months I fucking owned it. And I'm like, and
the
I'm
one day
like,
where there's debris on it was the day he's going to put the
and
engine back in.
I'm like, we are not liable. The privilege of us allowing you to leave your stuff to work on around on our property does not warrant or does not equate to our liability for damage to your things. I said it was a privilege that we let you do it, but we can't change that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and he's like, and then he goes, will you tell the insurance company that? And what about the tree company? Can we talk to them? And I go, my vendors are also not liable. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like it went through the house. Dude, you were supposed to move your shit. You didn't move your shit, and you have your car parts laying around. That's not on them. Like, you shouldn't
Yeah.
have car parts.
You had
laying
plenty
around.
of.
Like,
You gave him plenty of warning that this was
Yeah.
happening.
and he doesn't want to do it because he's always working on his fucking car.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, anyway.
What kind of damage would it have had from debris though? Would it, like
in the
hit-
picture, exactly, and I wasn't getting into it. He sent me. It's not like the car was put together. It's a supercharger laying on the ground with a tarp under it. So like I'm trying to figure out, and I didn't want to get into it because it's just
Yeah.
one thing begets to another thing, dude. It's always
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Always something.
So anyway,
Well, BP, change the subjects a little bit. John and I got some hang time.
yeah, I
in
know.
this
Let's get
week.
away from all of the morning routines and scheduling and talk about. I went to message John, and he told me something that blew my mind. He had actually left his house, traveled down to Tampa, and was at the family mastermind with you, Carlos. So please usually we only get updates from Carlos on the infamous family mastermind trips. Now we got both of them. So let's hear about it. I am curious. What did we learn? Who was there?
Well, I want to first start out giving a shout out to you guys because David Olds said the ending question was arguably the best question he's ever got on a podcast,
nice.
and his entire office. After that podcast, he said him and his entire office were debating the entire rest of the day.
That is the most epic thing. That's the biggest compliment we could ever have.
Yeah. So David Olds was very bullish and wanted me to relay that to you guys. So that was awesome. It's just good, man. I guess I'm used to it, but it's just such good conversation with so many people in the space there. Tim Tebow gave an amazing
Tib.
speech. You would have loved it, BP.
Way
Dude,
underrated. That man, phenomenal. He should have played for the Broncos.
He is the absolute man. He is the absolute man. A lot of good conversations with people. Jordan from Smartphone was hanging out a lot. I have his book in the other room. Actually, me and John got his book.
I
There it is.
Time.
Click, call, scale.
Signed copy, guys.
Order on Amazon now.
And for the record, I'm now semi-famous because my quote is on the back cover.
No way.
There you go, bro.
No way. But yeah, it was good. Like it was funny seeing John there. Trevor gave a presentation, an awesome presentation. But it was like funny talking with John there because it's so many people that we talk to virtually.
Mhm.
And then when you see him in person, it's almost like nothing. Yeah, it's like almost like no time has passed, or like you know him already.
Surprised to see John in person.
Was pretty. There was a handful of people, like even Vince Harris was like, "Wait, John." And like I was just like grabbing people, like literally, because I was like hanging out with John. So like literally, when I would like see somebody of interest, I would literally like not grab them, but I would get their attention. Be like, "Hey,
them like,
talk to John."
"Fuck over here, talk to this guy."
At horse, yeah,
Yeah,
literally, I was doing that. I like making sure people are talking to each other. So no,
that's wild.
it was a great trip.
It was
man.
really good.
It was a great. Trip.
I will definitely go back to
What's
more
the
of them.
takeaway though? Like, what was the takeaway? Like, Carlos, you usually come back and talk about like a common theme. Like, was there a common theme this time?
Mhm. I would say, yeah. Let me flip through my notes. Actually, that's a good question.
Yeah.
I will say one thing on the like information coaching product side. I think that standard webinars, have been really, really popular the last 10 years, where a lot of people of late are having more success with challenges, like multi-day challenges, where it's like, hey, are you somebody that's looking to get into syndicating mobile home parks? Join my 5-day challenge. The first day you learn, I don't know, underwriting a deal or maybe lead generation for mobile home parks, underwriting a deal. Like it's a different theme each day for essentially building that business and then selling them a product on the back end. So I think a lot of people are going to be looking into doing that. Let me just flip through my notes here because I got a ton of stuff. Your boy Tim Gratz.
Oh yeah, Tim.
Met your boy Tim Gratz, BP. He's a new member of Family Mastermind. He may be somebody good to touch base with, actually. Not that it's a direct similar tool, but the main reason that he is joining is because he's launching a SaaS product. I don't know if you talked to him. A SaaS product. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, for the listeners, he's launching a SaaS product on property management.
It sounds really cool.
Said it's
He was in
integratable
the
with CRMs.
AI breakout session I was in.
It sounds really cool.
There's a lot of like AI features that he's put into there that sound really neat.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. So yeah, maybe John, you're have
I
sent
checked
some of this to BP already.
Definitely not changing my software. But I understand. I knew he was always looking for something because they used AppFolio. And AppFolio could be pretty stringent. Multifamily is a lot different than mobile home parks, but it would be more of a competitor for some of the smaller, more basic softwares. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of them out there that a lot of guys use that really don't have and don't know the industry, as SaaS people. I could see him, I was checking out the features. I mean, I could see him competing with that. Unless he's going full-time SaaS and like really going all in on this and not his apartments and real estate stuff, I would find it really hard for him to wind up competing with the big dogs like PropertyWare, AppFolio, Rent Manager. I mean, they have one goal and one goal only type of thing, and their feature load is, I mean, you also are like decade of SaaS experience and work orders behind what he's doing, but I get it. He'll do good. Like, let me reiterate and say, because of who his customer base is with his
bingo,
with his mastermind, because when I was in his mastermind, I needed a software, right? And I was going to go AppFolio because they were using that, but AppFolio, I was too small for AppFolio. And then I went PropertyWare, got fed up with them for the second time, and that's when I went to Rent Manager. If he had a product at that time, 100% guaranteed, just because I would have signed on for that.
Yeah. It's Tim.
But I can say, in the Rent Manager stuff, worse than a CRM, or in the rent property management, once you're in a software, it is so hard to get out because not only are you tied in, but now you have all of your tenants tied in.
Tied in, yeah.
And so like that was a pain in the ass. So once you got to make the right move in there. So yeah, people are very hard to convert from other softwares because of how spidered, intertwined they are.
Mm-hmm.
What other notes you got?
Yeah, the AI. I mean, I have a ton of just like one-off things, points of interest, stuff like that. The AI break room. I guess you were in the other one that I was. I was in Francis's room. Pretty crazy what people are doing with AI. Joe McCall has a fully automated voice, text, and chatbot AI as part of his 5-day challenge that he sells. So you can call it literally 24/7 and just ask it questions.
Right.
Like it's crazy. He's like, like he called it, he demoed it just like in a big room of 50, 60 people in one of the AI breakout rooms. And he's like, what are 3 ways to raise private money? He just called it and asked. He's like, that's a good question. He's like, you can reach out to your warm and hot network of friends and family. Like, and it just like gave answers. I can't remember what it said, but yeah, just the rate. There seems to be a disconnect with a lot of people in the room of like what tools they should be using. Like some of the older crowd, like the gray hair, older. I don't know how to say that without being politically correct here. Maybe the 50, 60 plus crowd that's in there. They have like this boomers. Thank you, PP. I think they have a little disconnect on like they feel like they're not using the tools when Francis is like, guys, 90% of this is going to be accomplishable with ChatGPT. Don't even think about using something else unless you hit a serious roadblock. Like the level that you guys are doing stuff, you guys can just be using ChatGPT.
I think that's probably the wisest advice. I wasn't even there, but I bet that was probably some of the best advice given at the whole thing because of how overwhelming it could be.
Here's the interesting thing. So Carlos was in like the AI for business and I was in the AI for like development room. And in our room, it was brought up to make sure that your staff members are on a paid ChatGPT account. Because if it's on free, the terms and conditions of the free ChatGPT account mean that anything that you put into it can be used in its training and knowledge. So he's like, one guy who's in oil and gas was like, I've caught one of my engineers uploading our like profit share agreement to a free ChatGPT account. So we like went down this whole like rabbit hole of like terms and conditions.
I take it back. That may be the best advice because I know that on my paid plan I get to choose. What I did not know is that on the free plan that choice was not there.
Yeah.
And then there was something today about ChatGPT for business, some new thing. It's like, do you want to try ChatGPT for business?
Yeah, that's been around. It's Teams. It's just like you give licenses to employees. But it's interesting because it brought up this whole conversation of like, back in the day, people would control a user's kind of ecosystem. Like you can only access the company network on this computer.
On the network, because you were on an internetwork. Yeah.
Yeah. But now like people bring their own devices. They have devices at home, and with SaaS software, they log on from anywhere. And it's like, how do you ensure that they are like doing the right things in the right way with your sensitive information in this age where like, yes, you can increase performance by using AI tools, but that's your data, your IP, your intellectual property. How do you ensure that your company is protected from that?
And it's not even a malicious thing on the ChatGPT.
No, it's not.
They're just like, here's my rules, and like if you use it, we don't even know who you are. We don't give a shit. We're not targeting you. We're not trying to trick you. It's just like you put it into the beast is gonna eat, bro. Like, yeah, and then the employee has no idea what they're doing.
Yeah, and what's the lady's name? I can't remember her. Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Sharon Lechter was in my room as well, and she's like, I spent a lot of money on a lawyer to go and understand the terms and conditions of all of these like popular AI tools like ChatGPT, so on and so forth. And what we ended up finding out is that you don't get like anything that's generated in there, you don't own the rights to some degree. And so what she's done is she only allows AI to be used for her work stuff on a local AI, so that everything is fully owned by her. I think that's taking it to a bit extreme. Like, what is ChatGPT going to come after you for an idea generated inside of it?
OpenAI and Microsoft will. If it's let's just say you I don't even know if I can, but I'm making this up. Let's just say you use ChatGPT to code a software. That software becomes one of the largest software, and after that, you use your own code, but the foundation of it was helped in there. You don't think if they figure that out? I mean, I've seen enough movies to know they will come after your code.
Literally.
So
It's worth
yeah,
it's worth being aware of. Let's phrase it that way.
that's
for
interesting.
sure.
I mean, again, it's like I don't know if I, in my business, have to worry on what are they going to do? Like that contract I helped you write, I'm
Mhm.
using it now, and I'm like, oh, okay, ChatGPT, like here you go, bro. If it's that important to you, there's nothing in my business that I feel like I'd be concerned with, but I can see larger businesses or my concern. And I said this on another show, has nothing to do with that. I don't want to get off topic, but my concern is just my personal life, lab results, personal problems, personal thoughts, whether you're contemplating marriage, life, God, sin, I don't know, what other, perversions you have, like it's all there, and like they have it all. Like, and there's so many people that use it for the oddest questions and things.
Oh yeah.
That like I was wondering, like, you go to run for president, and now it's like you literally have a database of every weird thing you've ever asked. And I've asked ChatGPT some shit, dude. Like, and some of it's it's not even me. I'm just like, that's a good question. Like, let me go
Find
ask
out what
that.
that answer is.
I go and run for president, and they're like, well, back in 2025 on February 1st, you asked ChatGPT this. Sounds like you were having this problem. Well, not really. I was just kind of like curious, dude. But like I could see where
So
it's
fun.
being used against you on a and that's more of my concern. But I can see
Mhm.
as a bigger business where you'd be concerned with your data.
Yeah. I think the other interesting thing that came up in my room about AI, I mean, there was a lot of interesting things, but people are very curious about it. They want to use it. Those that are a little bit further along in the process are doing things on like Lovable and Bolt, like me, and they're loving its capability. There was a general consensus of it's powerful and capable of doing things, but it's not good for scale. So the guy that was running the room, he's actually like a co-founder of AI in Your Business, I think .com. And so he runs a 3-day challenge. And so it's like people want to use AI in their business. You come in for a 3-day challenge and they sell you into a $97 program, which literally just sounds like predetermined prompts. They built it on Replit, got to 135K in MRR, and realized it can't scale. Now they're having to like rebuild the entire system with an actual like software engineer to help them with their scaling problems. But people like I think Christina Kraus, who runs Postal Impact.
135 MRR is no small feat, though. That's monthly.
No, it's
recurring.
not. And
Okay.
that's
Just wanted
like
to say that for our audience, like 135 a month.
Mm-hmm. It's $1.5 million
97 ARPU.
business.
Like that's a phenomenal, like that's unicorn status in like small SaaS business. What was I saying? Christina Kraus is like, I had tried to have engineers for 2 years build me something, and I did it on I think she said Replit in a couple weeks. And so like, and she's like very gung-ho. She's like, you need to be using this. I have fired 4.5 employees with what we've been able to do with AI.
For what is she using it for?
Postal Impact, and then she has a lead management service as well. So Postal Impact's direct mail.
Virtualleadmanagers.com.
Virtual lead managers. So things associated with that. She does a lot of stuff with like probate, local county stuff for her direct mail business.
I've heard of her.
At least when I worked with her 8 years ago, that's what she was doing. It's probably evolved to other stuff since.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah,
you weren't there, I guess, when the investor base guys were
How are they
the
doing?
same day, because I think they're good. But what made me just think of that is I'm pretty sure Jack vibe coded the entire platform to a certain extent, which is like pretty crazy. I was in a conversation with like him, Tyler Austin and Dataflick recently just merged, which is pretty cool.
I hope he got paid for that. Like, I hope he did good. I like Tyler.
I told like he was there the next day, and
He's
I
a
was like,
beast.
"Congrats on your acquisition and merger." And he's like, "I was like, I don't know what you're
I heard
calling it."
that.
He's like, "Yeah."
You're like, acquisition, merger? He's like, yeah.
He's a humble dude. So
he's holding it close to the vest.
yeah, he is.
But I thought that was interesting with InvestorLift, and Tyler was in that conversation too, where it's like a lot of people are like, oh, I can build a SaaS product completely with AI. But it's like, yeah, you can build it maybe for your individual company, but then what happens if you have communication going through it with thousands of users?
Yeah, that's the problem. And
And it's
so
like, that's
me
where
and
you have-
Jordan in our room are like, listen, guys, it's great for this stuff, and you can build a business on it, but it will not scale with volume. So if you have a lot of volume coming through your system, and then the conversation evolved, well, like, what do I do? Do I just go hire a developer?
Well, no. Let
Like
me
some
ask you this.
random like developer.
But
Go ahead.
let's say I'm pretty good, and I don't want. Maybe I misunderstand, but maybe I don't want to build it on the AI platform, but I want AI to code it, but I still use regular, like a Firebase code. I'm still have my own AWS server, databases, all that. But I'm helping it write the code that I input into those things. And I'm not a software guy, so I know I'm probably messing something up. But could I do that instead of using the thing like to build it on, like using their platform to build it on that limits my scale? Can I use it to write raw code for a language like a Python language or whatever is the cool thing now?
No, so you can use Claude Code or OpenAI's, I think is Codex. You just
That's
install them into your
not for
terminal.
me though. Somebody, a layman like me, I'm going to use Replicate or whatever you're saying because that's
Probably like it's not out of the realm. You probably get confused. Like that's been my journey, right? I've used Bolt.new and like have kind of communicated with AI just in a chat interface. My next level is Claude Code. That's what my development team is using. They just started using it a month ago. And it's different. It's still all a chat interface. So you're still just chatting back with the AI. So the same prompt. But yeah, but you're not like you're having to live in a code editor, so like it's putting the code in places, and then you gotta like deploy it, and then get to a local
You need to be
view
a
of the
you
front
or a coder to use something like that. But again, a Christina Kraus or somebody like me as a business owner wanting something, I need to use an all-in-one type of AI code platform, which is where you and Jordan have come and said, yeah, it's good for these things, but not for scale. Eventually, you will need to hire the person. I just wanted to reiterate that, John, because there's two separate beast to the AI code thing that I don't think a lot of people understand.
Yeah, and I think too, when you get, even if you were like, okay, I'm technical enough to learn Claude Code, it can still make the same scalable mistakes that a Bolt or a Lovable can make. And that's where like my engineering team has kind of come in and they're using Claude Code. Like they understand infrastructure. Like when is it writing good code? When's it not writing good code? I still can't make those determinations fully. I'm probably getting closer and closer to that. But even like somebody just using Claude Code, like they still take an engineer straight out of college, put them on Claude Code, like they'll still make the same mistakes versus like a senior software developer who has written manual code themselves and is writing code up. And they're able to double check what Claude is actually doing and implementing from an infrastructure standpoint for volume type SaaS apps.
Let me ask you guys this. I want to go way off topic here, but stay on AI. I have a daughter in college. So there's this whole thing with college kids about they're not allowed to use AI.
Mm-hmm.
But we're sitting here talking about how when you are in business, even you want your employees to use AI and you want your business to use AI and then what I learned, I was watching these videos, right? Like about these college kids and like how now teachers are grading, like they have this software, I guess, that you submit something and now there's these web add-on tools like ChatGPT and it'll tell you the percentage of veracity of like whether it's real AI, and then because it's inputted into that software, they can actually go in real time in ChatGPT or the AI software could see them either copy and pasting it, typing it in word for word. So my question is, right, like, what do you feel about like students not being able to use it? I'm torn because I didn't get to use it, but at the same point, it's like it wasn't around. Like we're telling our kids not to use a tool that when they graduate, everybody's expecting them to use, but yet you also want them to learn the hard way. It's like, don't learn math on paper. Don't use a calculator, but we all know we all use the calculator in business. Is it similar to that? Or do you feel like it's stupid for colleges to say you can't use AI?
I'm a little torn, but I lean more to the world of they should be teaching them how to use it the right way versus like avoiding it completely. I'm with you on like they're going to be asked to be using it in the professional world. Now, on the opposite end of the spectrum, though, is I read an article about a week ago about AI slop in the workforce and how they went and interviewed a bunch of different kind of managers, and they're saying they're getting AI slop delivered to them in presentations and documents,
Yeah.
and it's like not deep enough. It's just surface level words.
Yes.
And so they're then having to either go back to that person and tell them to redo it or redo it themselves, and ultimately reducing efficiency versus increasing efficiency with AI. And so that would be my worry, is like, okay, so they get to start using it, and now they get into the workforce and we just get more AI slop. So I think there's a balance that has to be struck there on how to use it as a research tool or an assistant, an enhancer, but the
An
core still needs to
enhancer.
come from you.
I like that word. Like, it's like when I do my articles, right? Like, I
Yeah.
write my article, AI edits it, reorganizes it, and then I still go in and like tweak it and add it, right? So it's still me. So the other day I was bored and I was just like, dude, I don't even feel like writing this thing, and I had AI do it. I was like, here's what I want, go type this article for me. And it came back and I was like, this fucking sucks. I was like, yeah, is everything I told it in there, but like the way I write is like I write like me, like I'm writing a story, I'm telling
Yeah.
my thoughts and my feelings about things, and it knows because it's graded. I've been writing articles for over a year and a half now. It edits every one, so it knows how I write and how long every one of my articles is, from 2,000 to 3,500 words. It's deep. AI is like 800 words. Here's your whole article. I'm like, like you said, all surface.
Yeah.
Like nothing in there, and it's not me. And like, but that's the slop, right? If I would just copy and paste that, there's my article, I'm done. I didn't think, I didn't do anything. My own perceptions and ideas are not in there per se, and that's where I think we get messy, when you're relying on it to do the work instead of having it assist you in the work where it's still you. So I use it as it's still me, but I need some help because I am not a lit major. I'm not very good at punctuation and grammar, but I love my storytelling, where AI sucks at storytelling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, at least
What tool did you say you used for that? Because Francis,
ChatGPT.
one of the biggest, not the biggest takeaway, but Francis, 90% of his use case is writing copy, and he says that Claude is superior to ChatGPT. So he's like, most of my time's in Claude.
I don't know what. I mean, I've heard John talk about it, like Claude Code. I'm assuming it's the same thing, just different
Different models.
models. Maybe I'll check it out. I don't know. I mean, obviously I've just been using ChatGPT. It's an easy thing, it's just, I have my account and I have my projects and we go back and forth and things. And but yeah, I cannot rely on it to do my work. Even when I write a full presentation, like a pitch deck or like one of my ebooks, and I give it to it, it always, like, I love the word slop. It always comes back surface level slop. And like, I have to do more work that way. I would rather do the work, have it edit in grammar and organize it for me and parse it maybe, because I do, like on here, I have a tendency just to kind of jibber jabber in my writing as well as I do as my verbal communication.
You don't jibber jabber. Come on now.
Yeah. I'm like Trump, bro. I was just like, I was listening to Trump the other day and I was like, get to the fucking, like, I love him, but like, I get it, dude. Like, can you just get to the end? Like, I really want to watch this, but it's like 4 minutes and there's only like 30 seconds of substance in the other like 3. And I love him, dude. It's hilarious, but like,
Oh god.
you're the
That's so
greatest, the
funny.
best. Never been any better, but like, yeah. So I think
so
there is
funny.
a fine line. I'm just torn on the college thing because like, I don't want my daughter to just do this assignment. But at the same
I mean,
time,
my opinion. I don't think college is preparing anybody for the real world. I think they're still a little outdated. Certain industries you got to go to college for, but they're very much stuck into this, like, we must educate the individual in these things that we've been had in our curriculum for 20 years. And so for them, it's very hard to adjust to an AI world because they're like, the individual is not being educated. They're just turning in work that took them 5 minutes.
so there's always, so we're saying there's the abuse, there is two sides to it. There's the ones who use it right and there's the ones who abuse it. And I think the ones who abuse it get no benefit from it.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree. It's like this. It's like, and this is a horrible example and I'm not condoning cheating, but there is a difference between you cheating and writing down all the answers and studying and then writing down all your answers and bringing in a cheat sheet versus you looking at your neighbor and going, remember we used to do it? Be like, And the Scantron, you're like 2 over B, 3 C, is A, right? That's pure cheating. You're not even learning. You just relied and you're going A, B, C, D, you know, versus the cheat sheet. You actually have to learn to make the cheat sheet. Like you have to study, you have to do that. I'm almost saying that's like a better analogy for how people use AI almost. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah. Not that I cheated in college at all, ever.
No, I'm sure you didn't.
Never.
I'm trying to think what else there came out of that AI room. There's a lot of talk about AI voice.
Yep. I was gonna say a couple just like random points when we were having lunch with Andy Kaloji.
Andy,
I thought it was interesting. The seller lead, dude. As soon as I saw Andy Kaloji and John, I was like, yeah, that needs to we needed to get this as like on our lunch table. Andy and John Kaloji, for anybody would enjoy being a fly on the wall in that just those two meetings of the minds together. One thing that was kind of interesting, I don't know how like actionable this is, BP, but I think that you would think it's interesting, is the seller lead volume correlates with the lunar cycle across all the markets they're in, meaning when there's full moons, like there's a big full moon coming in a couple days, typically there is like a significant decrease in the amount of seller lead form submissions. Andy believes, not to be too woo-woo, but there's like some type of, I don't know if it's a astrological thing or parasites. Like everybody has like parasites in their body and it kind of like weighs people down, but it's like clockwork for holidays and lunar cycle.
To put that data together in the chart and determine that, like, you know what?
Well, they do because they want to like they want to know like, are we hitting our standards? And so he's like, we kept noticing that every full moon day we would drop 20 to 30%
for years. Dude, they crush it.
Yeah, they do crush it.
Property leads.
They started doing
they absolutely crush
like
it.
live transfers now. So form gets submitted, it suggests the lead calls, and then the lead calls and it gets live transferred to the business that got the lead assigned to them. Pretty interesting system because he's trying to reduce the amount of refunds for people saying we can't contact the lead. So he's like, we'll get them to call us like right away. It seems to be working really well. Like Nick Perry's team
that was a necessary progression for his
business. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean that's a no-brainer.
Very interesting system there. What was the other one he said? Like when there's like major like announcements, like he said when Trump announced the tariffs, the seller lead volume dropped for 3 days.
Goes completely dead.
Yeah.
Goes completely dead. So when there's ever any major announcements, the tariff was the last bigger one. Some holidays. Somebody else that was selling coaching was talking about holidays too, like the same correlation.
We talked about those before without data, just pure speculation.
He was talking about probate leads. So if somebody dies between November 14th and January 1st, they won't submit the lead, and then all of a sudden on January 4th, there's a ton of leads where people have died. And he's like, what happened?
And it was something January 13th too.
January that's right. It was like the first Monday. He said the first.
No, that makes
full
sense.
Monday work. Yeah.
But it's just cool, BP, because they have so much data coming in from all across the country. It's like you could say like that doesn't make sense, or I don't believe with the astrology, but when you have the data for years in every single market, like you're just reading the data and seeing the correlation. There's no emotion.
It's hard with the astrology because, like, as a Christian, it's like, okay, you don't necessarily believe in astrology, but at the same point, there are a lot of things with astrology that, like you know, some of it, like, you know, Taurus, like different signs and stuff. Like, I don't know, like. When I was looking for my wife, obviously, when I was dating, there were specific astrology signs I was looking for because I dated, and I was like, man, I just do not mesh. Like, you realize the data points of like who I mesh with the best, and I had narrowed down, and I would look for that like when I was on the apps and stuff, and like my wife was too. Like, you know, we matched obviously, but still, it does. But yeah, it's an iffy subject on the religious front. Say
it is
whether you're supposed to, but so I found it interesting when you said that regarding seller data, and someone came up with that idea to compare the two.
Yeah, the other thing that we've talked about on the episode was the ruling that I guess is it done forever now?
Well, at least for this FCC,
so
it's done forever.
Right. So they actually, you know, hats off to them. They were very proactive on, you know, like development costs and getting things done for that. But now I guess they don't have to use it, at least for right
Yeah,
now.
it was the ruling where when you, as a somebody who distributes leads,
Yeah, I remember.
when that consumer goes to the site and fills out their information, it must show the end buyer
yeah.
of that lead.
Which was
But-
going to be a
Huge, yeah. They delayed it like a couple days before it was supposed to go live, and then they ultimately killed it. I think he said in August, something like that. Sometime this summer, they ultimately killed it forever, at least for this administration, I think. That was an interesting one. But yeah, I mean, overall, like I was very impressed with Family Mastermind. Matt Andrews puts on a great group. There was way more people there than I was expecting there to be, and it was funny, like looking around the room. I was like, oh man, these are like the titans of this industry. We're all sitting in the same room together, like Don Fowler, Joe McCall, just like all the kind of big old legacy names. Who was the guy from Clever Investor? I met him at the end. What was his name?
Ross Hamilton, Connected
Investor. Thank you. Yes, met Ross at the end.
Yep, had a good combo with him after he had a few beers.
It's funny. I went up to get a picture with Tim Tebow, and I was like, "Hey, I think I'm the only one in the room from Gainesville, so go Gators." And he goes, "Matt's from Gainesville." I'm like, "What?" Matt Andrews lives
That's so
in
funny.
Gainesville.
He is.
I didn't.
Yeah, he used to live in
That's so
Tampa.
funny.
That's like when I first met Matt.
Yeah,
My first
I know.
conference I ever went to was in LA, and he was living in Tampa at the time. But he moved to Gainesville 10 years ago, he said.
Back when Gainesville was Gainesville. That was
But yeah,
like-
it was great. I always thought too that it was a lot more about the like affiliate partnership stuff. So I was very impressed with like the content that they were having with like the AI content. The presentations were great, and they left just a lot of time for you to go like talk to people, which was great. So I would definitely go back.
Well,
to
that's
one.
where most of it happens, right? Is the talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Some people, I mean, they each feedback, I feel like you always leave feedback, and like everybody's just like, you kind of notice each time people leave that. I would say is maybe the top feedback is like people just want time just to cut deals and talk, because there are people that go that literally just will hang out in the hall or like right outside where the
I used to do
main
that.
stage is. People just hang out in the coffee room, just grab conversation, stuff like
Because
that.
once you go, like a lot of
they
you
build
go
in
to the
plenty of
same,
time.
you go to them every year, twice a year, 3 times a year, whatever it is.
Twice
and
a year.
after a while, it's like you've heard a lot of the same stuff. So a lot of the vets, they'll always just hold back and like make the magic happen in the combos.
It was a good time. I would definitely go back again. It was a lot of fun.
Yep.
That's good.
Yeah, definitely.
That's
good.
good. That's interesting. Are you guys a part? You guys should do more. You should. I love having these combos with the masterminds. There's not always maybe I'm just not on Instagram as much, but I was gonna say I feel like there's less and less of these masterminds happening like there used to be, 4 years ago or whatever. Just seems to be they're kind of parsing down as things get tighter and tighter.
Cheaper and more profitable to attempt to do them online, I think.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's interesting. Well, I'm glad you guys got to meet up and do that in person. Fly on the wall. We still gotta have Jordan on. Love to.
Yeah, Jordan will definitely come
Definitely.
on. I'll need to connect with him. He doesn't fly back till Friday. So
To where? Where's he going?
Poland. He lives in Poland.
Smart man.
Yeah.
I thought he lived in the UK for a while.
He lived, so he was born in Vancouver. No, Toronto. My bad. Sorry, Jordan. He was born in Toronto. He moved to New York for a little bit, and then he lived in Scotland for 16 years. And that's where he kind of started getting into Podio stuff. And then Europe, settling in Poland, in the farm country.
But he's not a citizen, so he's I don't know how that
I have no idea. I didn't ask him that question. He did say that there's a direct flight from Tampa to Zurich, which shocked me. I was like, why are people having direct flights from Tampa to Zurich? But that made his travels a little bit easier.
I was talking to this dude way off topic. I was talking to this dude in my son's football. He was born in Italy. His parents were Americans, Air Force or whatever, military of some sort. So he has dual passport. And I was like, bro, I was like, bro, I heard like the Italian passport is like one of the gold, you know, a European is like a golden passport because like travel anywhere you want, you know what I mean? The limitations versus just the US passport, having both of them. And, you know, I just thought it was very interesting when you get the double passport of like what it opens up for you. He says he doesn't get to travel as much anymore with like the kids and everything, but yeah, as life happens to all adults. Yeah, but that's interesting. Poland and everything with all the stuff going on. I hear Poland is holding it down. Safe place to be. They're strict.
Yeah, because like Smartphone's even based out of Romania, but he chose to settle in Poland.
Romania. What's his name? The Tate brothers out in Romania. I think they
Is that
left.
where they are?
No, they were, and then that's where they got arrested, and then they left.
Okay.
And then they went to Miami, and I think Miami kicked them out. I don't know where they're at now. I don't know where they're at.
I think they might still be here.
I don't know. I still like. I wouldn't.
I think they're in Lakeland, Florida.
I don't know why anybody would want. I still amazes me that people are like Lakeland's the #1 spot. Like, why? Like, why, bro?
You could
like,
get to Tampa in an hour, and you could get to Orlando in an hour.
I know, but still, it's like out of all the places you choose to live, sometimes I do wish
Publix is
lived
headquartered there. There's old money, and it's got that great park.
Yeah, it does. It does. That's our claim to
It's a sick
fame.
park.
Bonnet Springs Park. It is. It's always crowded. You literally have to go first thing in the morning to get there because everybody comes from all over to go to that park. And by like 10, 11 o'clock, good luck, bro.
We need to go back when it gets cold.
Let me know, bro, if you're ever down here. The kids love it. They do. They get like there's that kids museum you could get like a pass to, and they have passes and stuff, and they go. I don't go. That's not my thing. Like I'm not. That's just not my thing.
We were there and like, what was it? It was right after we met you. It was hot as hell, and we just like sprinted through it.
Yeah, you got to be down on like the bottom side where the shade is. Otherwise, up in the top where all like the playground stuff is, it's like full sun. Weather's turning nice though. I dare to. Hey, can I bring this up? I just feel like, and I know there's no scientific data to back this up. Does anybody not find it hilarious, or not hilarious, coincidental? That since the Republicans have taken office, we have not had as many natural disasters in the U.S. as we had during those last couple of years. Like,
well, to go down the conspiracy route, I think that means is that the Republicans were the ones directing the
could
hurricanes.
it be? I was going the other ways, and the Democrats were doing it to cause the chaos to keep everybody on tilt.
Wouldn't they then keep sending it to encourage the chaos to happen?
Maybe you're right. Maybe it's the Republicans. And I have no idea.
Can we all just knock on some wood though? Because
I know
you might have just like jinxed us in Florida for the rest of the year.
We're basically in October. I mean, this is the last month, but like
stop it. Stop talking.
Just saying, dude. Just saying.
We'll pull some data from Property Lead, see what they have to say on the subject.
Got destroyed though. Did you see
Oh
that?
yeah, that was wild. It's
bad,
like just waves. Nuts.
But at the same time, I feel bad, but I don't feel bad because I feel like you had a house on stilts right next to the water. Like at a certain point, you had to know
what's going to happen at some point in time. Like,
yeah, it's like I never feel bad for the people with oceanfront houses. They're like, oh, the hurricane got me. Like,
what were you expecting? Not to get you?
Yeah, what did you think was going to happen when you had this McMansion there and it's like dug into the sand dune? Like, did you think water was not coming up? But I don't know. We'll see how it goes for the rest of the hurricane season, but it's been pretty chill so far. Weather's getting nice. So.
Or Bermuda though. Bermuda's just gotten
everybody down there
season.
gets. Yeah, I feel like
all the hurricanes have just gone like whoop, right up to Bermuda. Bermuda's
I don't even
like
dive
in the middle of the
into
Atlantic.
I go to Mike's weather page. He says there's no major updates for Florida area, and that's it. I don't check back for like another week, and that's all I do is I just check to see if he's tracking anything that's going to hit me. If not, don't watch any of his other videos. I'm just like, cool, I'm free for another week. I don't need to go get more gas or water.
Let's hope it stays that way.
Anyway.
All right.
Knock on wood.
Cool, guys. Great kind of chatting up, reviewing Family Mastermind. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
You guys have a fun Florida weekend.
Will do.